Good evening. We're so looking forward to having Shraddha here in episode 5 of Arman. And without me wasting too much time, I'll call the day chair of our event, Sarleen, to proceed.
Thank you, Garima, so much. So, dear audiences, there's a small thing which I would request you all to do with me. This is just a small gesture that we start this amazing Shubh event with something Shubh. क्योंकि कहा जाता है कुछ भी अच्छी चीज की शुरुआत करने के लिए भगवान का नाम लेना चाहिए. So just a small request, we can't all unmute, but we can fold our hands. So I request all of you to fold your hands and just chant all by yourself without unmuting. Om Sai Namo Nama, Shri Sai Namo Nama, Satgur Sai Namo Nama, Jai Jai Sai Namo Nama. A very heartiest, warm, and a great evening, and a very, very warm welcome to all dear members, dear executives, respected past chairpersons, respected senior most members, our dynamic leader Mannat Kothari of Fiki Flow Ludhiana, and last but not the least, the very vivacious, the powerhouse of astrology, the famous Bollywood astrologer, Miss Shraddha Sala.
Thank you.
Namaste. I am your fellow flow member, Sarleen Arneja, and it is my pleasure to welcome one and all to this amazing webinar that is Harnessing Positivity and Celestial Delight with Shraddha Sala. Power, shadi, padhai, business, health, wealth, positivity, healing. Are you looking for the best of everything? Yes, we all are. As it's rightly said, it's easy to be a millionaire. To be a billionaire, one needs an astrologer. And Shraddha Sala, we really need you at this time of the hour. Houses, astrology, planets, signs, effects. क्या है आपकी किस्मत के सितारे? Let's unravel the year 2021. As we have gone through a great journey, a rough but then a learning journey from 2020, let's travel at the year 2021 and let's see what our fortunes hold for us. As our moderator for the day, Mansha Sahani takes us through an enlightening journey with our Kismat coach. Yes, friends, you heard me right. She is our Kismat coach, Shraddha Sala, the internationally acclaimed astrologer, not only an astrologer, a numerologist, a tarot card reader, and a Vastu consultant too. So, friends, I am amazingly delighted to introduce you to our moderator who is going to take our great evening ahead. She's the very vivacious and beautiful and a great proud Team Flow member, Mansha Sahani. Mansha did her college and her studies from Boston. She studied design and graphics. After her studies, she started her own venture and now she runs a brand called Muffle. Yes, Muffle, our sponsor for today's episode. Her brand boasts of her design acumen, which believes in concentrating and emphasizing on quality, aesthetics, and packaging. Her line of apparels, accessories, and home are inspired by the Indian textile styles and modern techniques. So friends, dear members, are we all ready to ring in the evening with Mansha Sahani moderating the session with famous Bollywood astrologer Shraddha Sala? So I request Mansha to please take the evening ahead.
Thank you, Sarleen, for such a kind introduction. I think we all can agree that 2020 has been a hell of a year. But as they say, there are far better things ahead than any we leave behind. So here's to a better, more positive 2021. There's a plethora of occult sciences out there, skeptic or not. We all love to hear and project our futures, right? Our speaker today is a highly respected tarot card reader with a rare gift and a proven track record in numerology. Her experience of many years, coupled with extensive training and her intuitive approach, has won her clients all over the world. She's also a qualified Vastu practitioner. Her loyal clientele includes names like Manish Malhotra, Farhan Akhtar, Shivani Dandekar, Karishma, and Kareena Kapoor. Endowed with such extensive knowledge, our speaker today has left us confused as to what to cover. Our solution? Let's cover a little bit of everything. The core of our event is manifestation and affirmations for the coming year. Shraddha will be touching DIY Vastu and post that touching about Nazar and numerology briefly. We will be in conversation with Shraddha, asking her a few questions for each section. It seems that the stars are perfectly aligned, and now may be a good time as any to begin. Over to you, Shraddha.
Hi, girls. How are all of you? It's so lovely to see all these beautiful faces here on my screen, covered up, nicely wrapped up to keep you warm. But I'm also going to try my best to keep you more warmer by everything I have here to offer you with. Smriti, hi, how are you? I have to say hi to my elder sister out there. I hope you all are doing well, and let's start. So, yes, we all did have a very heavy 2020. I'm not going to get into it in too much detail because it's the past, but let me quickly explain to you what happened. 2020 comes to number 4. Number 4 is ruled by the planet of Rahu. Rahu is a planet of constant change. It's like the wheels of a tire. It goes from up to down, down to up. Leaving coronavirus aside, the planetary positions of the year were extremely, extremely heavy. So that coming along, plus all the eclipses and the solar system situations that were going on, and then the universe decided to throw this bomb on us. So because of all that in play, this is what we had to go through with 2020. Now, please remember one thing. There are 3 things that are ruling all of us in life. One is your destiny, second is your karma, and third is your free will. I think 2020 was a part of our destiny and our karma, and what had to happen had to happen. But our free will is the choices that we make and the steps that we take. And with this free will, let's get very positive and extremely, extremely change our mindset. And let's get into 2021 with a completely different attitude and different energy. Now, when I talk about energies, there are only 2 kinds. Can anyone tell me what those 2 kinds of energies are out there? Do I have someone here speaking with me?
Positive and negative?
Absolutely. Perfect. She deserves a gift. Who answered that? Okay, lovely. So there are only 2 kinds of energies. It's either positive or it's negative. 24/7, 365 days a year, you are always going to be thinking, attracting, manifesting these 2 energies. If you're not doing the positive, you're automatically doing the negative. There is never going to be a time in your life when you're not attracting an energy. So my question to you is, if you know you're attracting these energies, why not only attract the positive? Because life is like a mirror. There's an invisible mirror here in front of us, and everything we throw out there first comes back to us and then goes into the universe. When we know this, why will we throw anything negative onto that? The minute you do that, that's coming to you and it's going back into the universe. So when we say positive thinking, positive thoughts, positive people, it's just not a thing. It's supposed to be a way of life. How many times have you felt, you've woken up in the morning, you've stubbed your toe on the bedside, and then suddenly your driver calls, he can't come that day, your maid's not able to get you the right cup of tea, and it just snowballs into a bad effect. Do we see that happening with us? That's because what happens with a negative thought is in the morning, the first thing in the morning, if you wake up with a negative thought, it's going to snowball into that effect till you don't physically stop, get into a positive motion, and start to attract that. That's the reason, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, positive thinking is the key word. It is extremely, extremely important. Now, what we're going to talk about is manifestation. Manifestation is the science of putting our thoughts into the universe and attracting those positive energies back. you're already thinking, right? 24/7, you're already thinking. You're already thinking about, this person or the situation or the circumstances, and you are subconsciously attracting back to you. But with manifestation, we are going to be doing conscious attraction of those thoughts. How many times have you gone out and felt that, oh my God, I was just thinking about you today and I met you? Or I was just thinking about you this morning and you called me up. It's not, yes, sometimes it's a coincidence, but a lot of times it's your manifestation which has reached out there into the universe, and the frequency between you and that person has gotten together. And that's the reason you're able to get that out. So, manifestation is putting your thoughts out there into the universe and attracting those back to us. Now, I'm going to make it a little simpler for you guys. Everything is energies. Energies are of two kinds, positive and negative. Quickly getting into a little bit of science. All of you must be having children, 7th standard science textbook. This is the human body. Within the human body, we have blood, we have organs, we have cells. Within a cell, we have atoms. Within an atom, we have molecule. What is the base of a molecule? Can anyone tell me out there?
Energy.
Fabulous. The base, she's teaching her child, right? The base of molecule is an energy. So within us, that burst is energy, and all around us there's energy. Today we are connecting through Wi-Fi because there's an energy, there's a technology. Today I want to switch on my TV or my AC, or send a WhatsApp to someone. It's a technology. It's an energy. It's a connection. If that connection is there in the universe, and then there's energy within you, what has to be done? Just your broadband link has to be strong within you and the universe, and you're already sorted. So that's all that manifestation is. Get your link with the universe connected. Now, in order to get your link with the universe connected, it understands two energies, positive and negative. Yes, of course, there are going to be times when we're going to be negative. We're not going to be feeling well, or it could be because of another person around us. It could be because of a situation that has happened. It could be financial, health related, or, relationship related. But I have formulated in 15 years of my studies 3 ways to get out of the negative zone and get into the positive zone. The first, I hope you guys are all writing this down. Please do so. The first way and the most effective way to get from a negative feeling into a positive feeling is change your physiology, change your body language. Okay, Mansha, I'm going to try this on you. Droop your shoulders and bend down. Okay, and now say I'm looking like $1 million.
I'm looking like $1 million. I don't feel like $1 million.
There you go. Now put your shoulders back up high. Okay, and just sit up straight. And I'm going to tell you, Mansha, I don't like what you're wearing. What's your reply?
But I still feel like $1 million.
There you go. Just the little shift in your physiology, in your body language, is scientifically proven to change 80% of your mindset. So the minute somebody is sitting next to you and you go like this and you're doing this or you're doing this, and you're talking, you're going to be going in the negative zone. The minute you sit up high, put your shoulders at the back, look forward into the person, the vertebra that comes from your spinal cord into your head gets so straightened that the hormones that are released in your head are positive energy hormones, are confident filled hormones. So it completely changes everything. Sit across somebody and do a business deal or a work deal or sell them something. You will be able to sell a comb to a bald man if you have this energy within you. Trust me. So the first thing we do, and I want everybody to practice it, is change your physiology, change your body language. You can Google anywhere. You can Google any mentor who talks or speaks. This is the first thing that they tell everyone to do. The second thing, and it's really simple, and start practicing it from today. Do not react. How many of you have had a fight in the house with my mother-in-law, with my maid, with my husband, with my child, and later on said, oh my God, why did I react to this? Right? We all go through that, right? And then you also say later on that, you know what? This wasn't even worth it. He said, I said, she said, I said, and this became such a big thing. But when I'm really looking at it on the hindsight, this really isn't even worth it. the most beautiful thing you can do for yourself is don't react. So I started to do this. If my husband used to come, the biggest issue that the husbands have with everyone is, why is the toilet, dirty? Or why is my towel lying on the bed? Why is this lying like that? So he did it once, I didn't react. He did it twice, I didn't react. Third time, he was like, forget it. There's no point even telling her because she's really not reacting to it. So he started picking up the towel himself and putting it into the bathroom. Start doing that. Started with your own spouses in the house. The minute you're not reacting, the other person thinks that, okay, maybe there's something wrong with me, that I'm overdoing this situation. And I'm just trying to get very, very hyper about it. But she's not taking it so strongly. So let me not react. You and your mother-in-law have some issue going on. She's always telling you, sorry, I mean, I'm sure this is all on a lighter note, girls. So just as an example, which maybe most of us would relate to, she'd be like, do this or don't do this, or wake up in the mornings, do this. Of course, do it in the right way where your responsibilities are concerned. But if you know something is not completely required and you subtly stop reacting to it, you will see it does not make a difference to you. And in turn, it's not going to make a difference to the other person as much. Okay. And the third thing is always and always see the silver lining. In every situation, no matter how good or no matter how bad it is, there is always a silver lining. Today, we are all sitting in December. You may not have felt it in March, but right now you will feel, yes, 2020, I went through this, I went through this, I went through this, but these were the silver linings that that came up with it. Somebody would say, I'm so glad I got to spend time with my children in the house. Someone would say, my husband is traveling so much, his health was deteriorating, and I'm glad he's not traveling as much. Someone else would say, I've realized a lot. I've got to know the truth about people, about situations, about circumstances. Haven't we all felt this in 2021? Sorry, in 2020. I'm so eager to get to 2021. So the three things that you have to keep in mind from getting into a negative zone to a positive zone is, who's going to answer this? Let's get someone to answer this. The three things. Oh, are we all on mute?
Change your body language, do not react, and I forgot to
Always see a
And
silver
look for the
lining.
silver lining.
Silver lining.
always see the
And
silver.
trust me, I have given you a magic wand in your hand today, because any way you twist it or turn it or use it, there is no other fourth way to change from a negative situation into a positive situation. Now we remove the negativity and we come into the positive side of it. We are super positive out here and you're like, okay, I'm full of energy and you know what, I'm going to do this. But in order to manifestate when you're positive, there are three more things that you need to follow. One is ask, second is believe, and third is receive. So there was this guy who used to go to God every day and pray and said, God, make me win the lottery, make me win the lottery. Finally, God said, at least go buy the ticket. That means ask. When you're going to the temple or you're praying or you want something from the universe, from God, from your husband, from anybody, ask them. If you won't ask them, how will they give? So many of us will go, we'll pray, we'll say, thank you for everything. Okay, then God says, you know what? She just wanted to thank me. She doesn't need anything right now, so let me not give it to her. But someone else will come and say, you know what? This is what I want. And the more specifically you ask, the more specifically he gives. So there is nothing which is less or more. There is no quantity or quality. There is enough in the universe for everybody. But you should believe it's enough for you and ask. So always ask for what you want. If somebody wants to lose an X amount of kgs, say it. I want to lose, everyone's smiling over here. Very nice. So I know what everyone's going to be manifesting now. I want to lose 5 kgs in the next 3 months. Say it, put it out there, and then see it happen for you. Okay? So the first thing is ask. The second thing is believe. Guys, without belief, I mean, Sarleen did a beautiful Sai Baba Aarti to start this session here. And Sai Baba also says Shraddha and Saburi, right? Faith, patience, and belief. Because if you don't do that, nothing is going to happen for us, right? So when you're asking, believe it and be in the motion of receiving it. So don't buy 3 sizes up of clothes when you're manifesting that you want to lose weight. Yeah. We go and we see that outfit that we want, and we say, this is what we're going to get into after 3 months. And I'm not going to buy the bigger size because I'm going to get to this. That is an energy of believing and receiving. Okay. Now, when you've known what you want and you ask, believe, receive, there's a quick exercise which I'm going to make you girls do. Today is the 28th of December. I want you all over here to promise me that you're going to take your book and pen and manifestate for the next 7 days till the 3rd of January. And then let's see how it goes for us. Yeah. So there are 3 things that I want you to manifestate upon. It could be related to health, wealth, or relations. How we start manifestating. The first thing that we do is always ask for gratitude, exactly how we started this session. When you ask for gratitude, you are thanking the universe for what you already have, and the universe gives you more things to be thankful about. Okay. So 30 seconds gratitude. Thank you so much for giving me this energy and for letting me manifestate for the next 7 days. And please make sure that I have the power within me to do so. All right. Then you take your pen and paper and write down, I am so grateful that. These are the 5 words I want you to use. Because when you write, I am so grateful that, the universe will give you things to be more grateful about. All right. So we know that we're not doing a wrong manifestation. And then we can start off with what we want to write. Usually, I like the first one to be about ourselves. Girls, please remember, this is an individualistic session. What I would really want all of you to take from this is 3 words, which means I love me. Start loving yourself. That doesn't mean being selfish. It means self-love. The minute you start loving yourself, people around you will start to fall in love with you. Okay? So the first manifestation should be about you. I am so grateful that I am in a positive state of mind, or I live in 100% awareness, or I'm giving you examples and you can tweak it to your own needs. Or if someone wants confidence, I'm extremely confident and, people around me love me. Or if someone wants, just good health, I'm so grateful that I have extreme perfect health in this sector of my life. Yeah. So this one will be about you. Write it down, close the book, and visualize. Suppose you have written, I am so grateful that I have 100% awareness and energy all throughout the day. Then close your eyes and visualize yourself like that. Visualize yourself, being on this platform, talking with confidence, meeting people, the other person telling you from ahead, you're looking so lovely. There's an energy within you which is so different. It's so powerful. You're glowing from within. You're giving out confidence. You have complete awareness. Everything that is happening. You're probably a multitasker. You're seeing yourself do 10 different things. So these go in your visions. And then open up again and we write down the second manifestation. So manifestation happens in 2 parts. We write it down, we visualize with our eyes closed, and we open our eyes. Then we go into the second one. The second one could be wealth, it could be relationships. I am so grateful that I get X amount of money uninterruptedly every month. So whether your husband is giving it to you, whether your work is giving it to you, whether a friend wants to gift it to you, whether anyone gives it to you, this is the amount of money that you want coming to you without any interruption. So from that money, it's not like, meko ghar ka bhi dhyan dena hai and I have to look into my maid also, this also, no. This is just for you. All right. Again, close your eyes and go on a shopping spree. Spend how much ever money you can. See yourself traveling, see yourself doing everything that you want to do, because we are manifesting money right now. And let the third one be relationships. I am so grateful that I have a faithful, loyal, loving husband. I am so grateful that my children are respect me, love me, or it can be any other relationship that you want to work upon. Again, close your eyes. See you and your husband sitting in Maldives under the sun without any of these shawls, enjoying a loving holiday, just both of you, and manifestate that and visualize that. Or see yourself with your children, or see yourself with your happy people. So manifestation is this simple. Guys, it's like breathing. You know how we have a bath every day, how we bathe every day, how we brush our teeth every day? Manifestation is exactly like this. The weirdest thing people tell me is, Shraddha, we haven't manifested for 5 days. Is that okay? But would you like go out of your house without having a bath for 5 days? No, right? And even if you do, you can probably go without a bath, but you can't go without manifestating, because coming to the first thing that I said, irrespective, you are manifestating, positive or negative. That is up to you. All right. So once we write this down, we are going to do this full exercise for 7 days. And then you will see your inner self start to open up. You will suddenly see, you know what? This happened to me. You know what? My relationship with my husband has changed. I am seeing the weight loss. I am seeing the energy difference. I am seeing the confidence. It suddenly starts to change. 7 days, why? Because actually it's 21 days, but I don't want to pressurize everyone onto that. If you can do 21 days non-stop writing, great, because it takes, for any habit to get formed, you need 21 days. For any habit to get removed from your body, you need 21 days. When we get a fracture, the doctor says, 21 days, 3 weeks bed rest. When we have a baby, the doctor says 3 weeks bed rest. So for the human body to heal itself, it's a scientific process of 21 days. So ideally 21 days, but I don't know all of you very well out here. So I don't know who's going to cheat me or not. That's why you have to give me a commitment of 7 days to start with. And then after that, you don't really need the book. I keep the book because it's like a gratitude journal. You're writing your things out there. Instead of writing hisab, how we girls have a habit now. Hisab likhte book mein, and we are counting what is our outgoing. Let's count what is our incoming by manifesting. So make that shift. Yeah. I'm getting this much, I'm doing this. So then we write in the book and we just be in that motion all throughout the day. Now, the minute we've manifested, we've closed the book, we've gone out, we've got to know, oh my God, I'm going out for a party and it started to rain and my blow dried hair has gotten wet. What do we do? So we suddenly get no negative zone. What do we do? Don't react.
Find a silver lining.
Find a silver lining. Okay, fine. It's gotten wet. What do I do? Can I make do with this wet look, or can I do something else? And change your body language. You know what? Let me just look wet and wild and change my body language, and let me just either way go out. Yeah. You've come down, your driver's not there. Suddenly you're like, I have to reach this meeting. What do? Don't react. Change your body language. Find the silver lining. Something will show up for you. So yes, you're going to feel negative in certain circumstances. Just use these 3 things. You will shift from negative to positive. Again, if you don't have the book, ask, believe, receive. This is what I want. I manifestate from something as small to a car parking, that I'm going to reach and my car will be parked. I visualize that, to the biggest thing that I want in life. This is what I want out of my business or my work or whatever, to health, to wealth, to everything. So there is no limit. The limit is in our minds. So again, a quick recap. Energies of 2 kinds, positive and negative. When we are negative, we need to ask, believe, receive. When we are negative, we need to change our body language. We need to not react, and we need to see the silver lining. From there, we get into a positive zone. When we are in the positive zone, you're going to take this book of yours, and for 7 days, you're going to manifestate. You're going to first do a little bit of gratitude. You're going to write down, I am so grateful that. And you're going to visualize it, come to the second point, come to the third point, close the book, go on with your day. The universe speaks to you in signs and symbols. So watch out for the signs, watch out for the symbols. If something is happening while you're manifesting, suppose you manifested something for work and you get this call, you should know that, no, I created this, it's come, let me take the chance. Let me take the jump, let me take this opportunity. Yeah. And then just go on with your day, and you've got a magic wand. You can never do without manifestation. Today, what I have done is I have put this seed into all of you. The ones who start immediately, fabulous. The ones who don't will always remember me. What did Shraddha tell us that day? Why are we not manifesting? So the quicker you start, the better it is. Tell me, girls, what more do you want to know about manifestation?
Shraddha, it was so nice listening to you. And, after hearing you, I'm already feeling very positive. I'm
so glad.
I'm going to start this, and this is going to be my New Year's resolution, definitely.
Absolutely. So another thing that we can do, which just before we continue, which I want to talk about, is we are entering into 2021, right? 2021 comes to a number 5. Number 5 is ruled by the planet of Mercury. Mercury is also known as Budh. Budh is the planet of the mind. So there's finance, there's mind power, there's, there's a lot of declutter that's going to happen. It is a gust of positive and good energies. So that shift from Rahu is going, the energy of Mercury is coming in. We do have a chance to make it all okay. So let's see some smiling faces out there and let's make that happen. Yes, Mancha, back to you.
So we have a few questions for you
Absolutely.
for manifestation.
Absolutely.
Would you suggest a particular time of the day to manifest? Maybe, early in the morning or just before going to bed, or, all.
Okay. So there's something that I call as the I hour. That means that 1 hour, which is for you. All right. So everyone has to make an I hour, and that should be the first thing in the morning. Wake up, you can do your little bit of things or organize what you need to do. But if you spend 15 minutes manifesting in the morning, your entire day snowballs into that, But for some reason, if you can't, then pick up the book in the afternoon or in the night. But what happens is if you're manifesting in the night, then we're not seeing the result of that during the day, right? So the ideal time should be during your I hour in the day, 15 minutes manifestation, 10 minutes breathing, pranayams, yoga, 20 minutes walk, or your exercise, and your 1 hour to yourself is done. I think all of you can give that to yourself in 23 hours in the day. 23 hours is for everything else. I hour is only for you. So what I do is I use my journal in the morning and I manifestate, and then I head out for work and for my workouts. And in the night, I don't use my book. I just sit on the bed, I manifestate, I say it all quickly, and I go off to sleep.
Thank you so much. That was very helpful. I'm sure
Also, Mansha, do you guys have a group for all you girls?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to send you an amazing video. It's an 11-minute video on how to start off with manifestation. So just forward that on the group, please.
That'll be great.
It'll help them a lot.
We're looking forward to that.
Yes, absolutely. Tell me.
So moving on to the next one. So they say it's always good to start young. So any pointers on how we can inculcate positive thinking and affirmation with our children?
Yeah, sure. So Mansha, what is YES?
Yes.
Okay. What is EYES?
Eyes.
Okay, you're a smart one. 90% of the people, when I ask them this, say EYES is ES. And this was told to me by and I'm sure a lot of you were thinking this over there, but she was quick at it, or maybe she knew about this. So this was told to be by my daughter, because what happens is, as adults, the minute I will ask you something, you will rethink it and re-question it. Our brains are functioned to doubt the situation. But when you're a child, you will call a spade a spade. Yes is yes, eyes is eyes. If I ask my daughter, what is the color of my hair, she'll say black. If I ask her the second one, she'll say, Mom, please stop it, don't irritate me. But if I ask someone else, what is the color of my hair? If I say, no, it's not black, they'll say brown, dark brown, navy blue, all weird colors will come in. Of course, you must start off small because you're absolutely raw. Your subconscious mind is not taken over by any other energy. What children can manifestate, nobody else can. How does a child manage to get whatever they want from us? It's because of their manifestation. It's so pure. It's so out there. So yes, you can just start off by telling them that, form a journal. I usually call it the magic journal for my children. And I tell them, whatever you write in this every morning, you will see it coming true. And the affirmations that they can do is, I am so grateful that I have very good friends around me, because at this time, peer pressure and friends are the most important. Your peer group, your close group is very important. And I am so grateful that I do very well in my studies. Let's not put pressure and write a certain percentage, because by chance, if they don't get that, I don't want them to be disappointed. So I do extremely well and my parents are proud of me. So 110% starting off young is the best thing that we can do. And we all have been a product of manifestation. That's why we're here. That's why we're here right now. It's just that there's dust collected on it right now.
But that was very helpful. I think we all should make it a practice and, do it
Yes.
with our kids regularly
Yes.
and inculcate it.
Give them a book, call it the magic journal, let them do it every day. Just give them 3 points to talk about and you will see that they love it. But the trick out here is also keep them in control, because over here nowadays when my girls want something, Mama, I want the new iPhone. I said, no, you're not getting it. but I'm manifesting it. I said, no, don't. Everything doesn't come like that. So you also have to teach them what to manifest it and what not to. So for me, I've bitten my own tongue over here, but yeah, it really works.
I would have thought they get all of this from constant pressurizing the parents, like, too much pressure all the time. I want it, and then you finally give it in.
Yeah, true. Tell me.
So there's this constant battle in people's mind, regarding the life, which is already predestined for them according to their past life karmas and what we manifest. So, they would think probably it's not, why manifest when it's already decided? So what do you have to say about that?
Ansha, if you take salt and sugar and mix it together, you'll not be able to separate the two. Yeah. But you'll still be able to taste the salt and the sugar. In life, when I started my session, I told you there's destiny, there's karma, there's free will. All three are interlinked with each other. You cannot separate one from the other. Yes, what is destined to be will happen. Karmically, if something has to happen, will happen. But free will is in your hands. Everyone who's joined the session today has not joined because of destiny and karma. They've joined because of free will, because they went on the computer, typed it, came here, and they joined it. Maybe someone's Wi-Fi is not working. I don't know if I'd call that destiny or if I'd call that a technical problem. But in daily life, in normal things, free will works very, very strongly. So karmically and destiny-wise, if something has to happen, your free will is also 33%. You have to take that step to put it out there, and that's when we see the result. So they are interlinked. So I will not say it's wrong, but you do have the 33% in your hand, and why not use it to our maximum ability? Any astrologer, any numerologist, any person you go to, they can only change your free will and help you enhance that and take that ahead. They will not be able to touch your destiny and karma, but we still have to go on, right? So why not do it to the best of what's provided to us?
That was really wonderful, honestly. I think there's always a better way of looking at things, and you were bang on. So
thank you.
This might strike a chord, with a lot of people. Somewhere within our near and dear ones, we all have someone who, for the lack of a better word, is a pessimist.
Yeah.
How can people around them, help them to become more positive? Because you keep telling them to manifest, they won't manifest because they are always, not feeling so positive.
Yeah.
So how can we help them around?
Okay, so girls, I'm going to tell you a very bitter truth today, but I'm going to say it. The only person you can change in life is yourself. All right. So we will start from ourselves. When I started this journey, I was going through issues with my in-laws. I was going through issues with my husband. I was going through issues in the house, but I decided to take it upon myself and make the effort within me. When you make that effort in you, things happen. One, you're vibrating and giving out that energy, and that energy is touching the other person. And they are thinking, what is it that is in her that has brought her so up? And why is this lacking in me? And that's when they will want to see the change and come on to you. The second thing that you will do is you will vibrate so much more higher that the negativity and the energy of the people will not be able to come to your level, and they will still remain where they have to remain. Now, again, this is not a selfish thing. Please understand, in life, we all have lived a certain amount of births. Okay. We are all here for a reason. The reason everyone is on this platform today is because you needed to know this Gyan. You needed to know this Vidya in this lifetime of yours. Maybe somebody else has not yet reached there. So there's nothing you can do to change the other person's mindset except for change your own vibration. Seeing you, they will get attracted to you. It's called a fashion trend. How suddenly boots are a fashion in winter, we all would want to do that, right? Suddenly there's a new phone, we all would want to follow it. So the new trend now is manifest it, raise your energies, let them follow the trend, because there's no other way to do it.
So Shraddha, we have someone asking us, so what if someone has been manifesting for something for more than 21 days and the universe still hasn't granted it? So should we just leave it, or
No, absolutely no, don't leave it at all. Don't leave it at all. Please continue it. You may not need to write it down, but continue visualizing it and seeing it, and also understand why it's not happened for you. Sometimes certain things don't happen because it has to get replaced by something else. Please understand, manifestation has to be believable to you first. So for example, if somebody's 100 kgs and they're saying, I want to become 50 kgs in just 2 months, I don't think it's possible. Losing 25 kgs a month, unless you're going in for a surgery or something, I don't think it's naturally possible. So if understand, why is it getting blocked? Is there another external force which is not making it believable? But to answer your question, no, don't stop. It could be right around the corner and it will happen. And I'll also manifest it for the person. Let's all put it out there that whatever they're asking for, let's hope it happens as soon as they can. Tell me.
Thank you. So we had so many questions, honestly, when we started, but you covered them all so well. So I think it's time to move on to the next segment, Vastu.
Yeah.
So manifestations and affirmations are for a mental change. Now let's talk about some physical changes for a more positive 2021.
Just 1 second. I have lost the... Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
Okay.
So
great.
Shraddha will be giving us some practical DIY Vastu tips, which we can incorporate in our existing structures.
Yes, absolutely. Hi, girls. Please sip your water. Please have your tea. Please be relaxed while we're doing this. So Vastu is the science of directions. All right. North, south, east, west. I'm going to keep it really simple. And after this session, everyone is going to become a Vastu expert. You won't need anyone else coming to your house. Vastu is the science of directions. North, south, east, west are the 4 primary directions. Then there are 9 more. There's northeast, there's southeast, there's northwest, there's southwest. You know the grid, right? The way it goes. Every compass, every phone of ours has a compass inbuilt in it. All right. Your iPhones, your Androids, whatever you're using has a compass inbuilt. If not, please download it. It's very easy to see a compass. You get into your property, you get into your house. Once you're inside your house, inside the property, inside the office, inside the plot, that's when you see which direction you are at. All right. Don't see it from the inside. Don't see it from the outside, see it from the inside. Now, the 3 main aspects in Vastu are your main entrance. This is about a house. Your main entrance. Actually, no, this is about your house or your office or a plot. I don't know what anyone is looking for, but this covers everything. Your main entrance, your kitchen, and your master bedroom. Now, your main entrance needs to be in the north, northeast, or east zone of your house. Everyone has a compass, right, on their phones? And we fairly know how to use that compass, right? Yeah?
Yes, we all do. Yes.
Great. In case you don't, it's difficult to show it on the phone. You can just Google how to use a Vastu compass and it'll show it up out there. So the main entrance of the house is north, northeast, or east. The kitchen has to be in the southeast, which is known as the Agni corner, your fire corner. And your master bedroom or your CEO's office or the main person's office needs to be in the southwest. Southwest because it's a prosperity zone. It's the money zone. Now, you would have seen in these old serials or in olden days, they had a Tulsi ka ped in the center, right? Then they had these 4 walls, then 4 more walls. The Tulsi ka ped in the center was known as the Brahmastan, the center of the house, which we usually keep with either a plant or something very natural, or we keep it empty. Around it, the 4 walls were because everything should happen in 4 corners. If it is slided or if it's tilted, then it goes a little wrong. And then we have the main person's koti in the courtyard at the back, because that used to be the southwest. So Vastu Shastras come from those days. It's an actual science which has come from the time of different births, and it has come into play now. Don't go crazy, guys, by breaking your walls and, hammering your house and everything. Just do the practical things. So these 3 things are extremely important. Now, if you don't have, okay, we cannot make structural changes now unless somebody is making a new house. And if you are making a new house, and you can always consult me with your maps or, you know, with your house plans, and we can take that further. But for everyone's benefit out here, and the ones who don't have this already, your main entrance should have a small water body. Now, these are the tips I'm giving you to change it if you don't have your main entrance in the north, northeast, or east. It should have a small water body, but not stagnant water. If you put one of those urlis and put stagnant water and let it be, it's still. It should have a rotating water body. You can go on Amazon and order it, you know, a small plug-in water body, so that an energy starts to shift. Your main entrance can have a mirror. Yeah. And your mandir should be in your north or northeast zone of your house. So even if your main entrance is not there, try and shift your mandir, your temple, to the north, northeast zone, because it is known as the Kuber ka khana, the energy of God. All right. So this is what we need to do at the main entrance. Please avoid shoes at the main entrance. A lot of us have shoe racks and, you know, shoes lying over there. Try not to do that, because it's just a disturbing energy. Second change that you can make is, if your kitchen is not in the southeast, the two important things in the kitchen is the water and the gas. Try and make sure that your water is in the northeast zone of your kitchen. Again, take the compass to the kitchen, put it on. You will see where north, south, east, west is. Try and make sure your water is in the northeast zone of your kitchen, and your fire is in the southeast zone of your kitchen. This is very crucial, girls. It's very, very crucial. Because, for example, if a fire is in the water zone and a water is in the fire zone, it's complete chaos. There are fights, there's tiffs, there's, you know, just negative energy. And, you know, if suppose your fire zone has your sink, there's money going down the drain. There's, you know, there's things that are not correct which are happening out there. So whatever little bit shift you can do, try and do it. If you can't make a shift, put some artifacts in your southeast zone in your kitchen. Fire artifacts, like you can put in your you can put in pictures of food, or, you know, of fire, or, you know, a nice photograph of cooking. And in your northeast side, put some water body out there, like your water, your matka, anything to just signify it, you know. So we are like kind of shifting the balance. Third and very, very, very important zone, and I think that's something that we all really want, is two things which your southwest room does. Is one, enhances the relationship energy between you and your spouse. So please make sure you're sleeping in the southwest room of the house. Secondly, your southwest is your prosperity zone. Your last side of your house, which is your southwest house, should have something in gold, you know. So just like me behind, I've put these two pictures, which are white and gold and black and gold, to enhance the southwest. You can do it with wallpaper, you can do it with photographs, you can do it with pictures, but don't do photographs of the family. Let it be something with prosperity, you know, something that looks rich, or an expensive painting. And you must have a small safe in your southwest zone of the house. All of you want money out here, put a small safe in your southwest zone of your house. Very, very important. Or in the southwest zone in your office. You can just put it down there in a cupboard. Even if you have a bigger safe somewhere else, I want one safe lying over there. Yeah. So these are the three main important things that we should look into where Vastu is concerned. Of course, Vastu becomes a little more personal, and, you know, everyone's house is different and everyone's house is already made. But those changes, if required, we can always look at it at another level. Tell me, Mansha. I can't hear you.
Mansha, please unmute yourself.
Yes.
Sorry. Yeah, so the tips you've given us are very helpful and very doable.
Yes.
And, I could see everyone just putting them down on paper, and I wrote most of them.
Mansha, you'll just give me 1 minute, just 1 minute. I've written down certain things. In your northeast, you're putting the water. In case you can't put the water body, you can also put a small aquarium or a fish bowl. Okay? So that also helps. In your, and there's mandir.
Shraddha, if I may interrupt,
yeah.
It should be a flowing water, as you said. So aquarium would be a still kind of a water.
No, but your fishes are movement, no? They're
okay,
breathing.
all right. Okay.
Yeah, the fishes are movement, they're breathing, there's life. So there's a life force energy going on out there.
Sure.
Yeah. Also, your mandir and mirrors all come in the northeast. Mirrors in the northeast are excellent. So if you don't have the entry out there, please put some nice fancy mirrors. Yeah. In your southeast, to enhance the fire energy, you can use candles or you can use any form of art. And your southwest, I already told you, rich gold, colors in gold, platinum, rose gold, your wallpapers, your artwork, and your safe. Yeah, sorry, Mansha, go ahead.
So it would be great, if you could just like form a message or send us a message with all this written so that we can circulate them with everyone.
Okay, soon. Soon I will. Yes, for sure.
Thank you so much.
Tell me.
We did talk about kids, and you spoke about kids and their overall well-being. And I'm sure all the mothers here would be, they would vouch for how worried everybody gets when it comes to the kids' academics.
Yeah.
So any Vastu changes or tips for their study area and also where the study room should be?
Yeah, so I spoke to Smriti about that when her daughter was doing her 10th. Tell me where to make her study so she focuses and concentrates more. So the east zone in the house is the strongest zone for a child to study in. They should be facing east while they study. It helps in concentration, and they must have something green next to them when they are studying. So you can put a small green plant, the bamboo shoots that are there, or you can even put a green bulb. What I have done is I put a small green bulb where they study, and green works really well because, again, coming back to 2021, ruled by Mercury. Mercury is Budh. Budh is the mind. The color for Mercury is green. So everything has a connect. Yeah. So even like the plants that are behind you, you can always put those on your kids' desk because they're green and they're bamboo shoots and there's growth, and let them be facing the east, their study table while they're studying.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I'm going to shift them to in my daughter's room right away, and she's also in class 10. So
Super.
perfect timing.
Super.
So coming to Vastu for business, so there are a lot of women entrepreneurs among us.
Yes.
So what suggestions would you give them for, picking up the right workplace, the area for production, area for dispatch, and also where the money should be kept?
So firstly, congratulations, girls, because I love women who work. Okay, I think it's very important and I absolutely love it. Having said that, even taking care of your house is extremely important, and that's also work on its own. So great. When you pick up a place for work, please make sure that you try and get a clean square. Don't have any cut corners. Cut corners are the biggest issue that we face. So you did ask me what kind of office they should take, right? So try and make it an entire square. In case some corner is cut, then we do like a copper wiring down to make sure that we signify the square in the place that we are. That's what when we need to make a vastu change, we do, but you can always do a copper wiring down on the floor. The area really doesn't matter. I mean, however big it is, the better it is for you, but make sure you are sitting in the southwest room, because that is extremely, extremely important. That should be your domain. That should be your zone, and nobody else should sit there. And keep your safe in the southwest zone, and very important is have a chair which is higher to the other chairs which people are sitting on for a meeting, because that also gets into your body language, your physiology, then going into manifestation, changing the negative into positive. So that energy is also very important, and it connects with Vastu also. So these few changes you can do, and you should be good with that to start off with. If you're having anyone in your accounts department or, any juniors working for you, let them be in the northeast zone. Northeast is for the mind, it's for accounts, it's for, the subcategories. Southeast should be your pantry and your little, eating area. And northwest is basically a nil energy zone. So usually the bathrooms or drainages is where we put all that into the northwest.
And also the area for dispatch, how they usually say you should have a certain area where the things usually fly off the shelf and, so how about that? Like any particular area?
So your southwest or your northeast, one of these two.
Okay.
It starts from southwest and goes into northeast.
And how about having a water body? I mean, a lot of people are against a water body in the house. So how about having a water body? Is it a good sign, or is there?
So it's a very good sign. You can have a water body, you can have a fountain, you can have whatever you want, but please, 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 please don't let it be in your southwest zone of your house. The experiences I've had over 15 years of people having swimming pools in the southwest zone of their house have been absolutely terrible. So if it's already there, there is a solution for that. You get these pool covers nowadays. You get these water body covers in acrylic, in plastic, in steel. Please cover it up immediately. I don't care about how good it looks or not, cover it up. If you want to have a water body, if you want to have a pool, if you want to have a fountain, let it be in the northeast zone. This is extremely important.
That was very helpful, because
Yeah.
sometimes, you just see the aesthetics of it and you don't realize like the vast point of it, and you just put it up. Also.
Yeah, but it's a complete imbalance, and especially water.
And what about basements?
So basements are fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong. Again, we'll follow the same principles. We'll try and have the entry from the northeast, and we'll try and make the highest point, which is the southwest. So there's nothing wrong in having a basement. I mean, if it's a part of your house, why not? But of course, we wouldn't want to use it for something. I mean, depends on what you're using it for.
Okay.
You wouldn't want to use it for something that is. I mean, don't keep it completely like a cluttered area.
Not to make it as a store of the house, basically.
Even if you are, because everybody needs storage, but let the storage also be neat and clean.
Okay, more organized.
Also, if anyone is fighting a lot and you have a duplex, or you have houses one on top of the other, see where your kitchen is, because if your bedroom is above your kitchen, then that heat and fire that's coming from the kitchen would create a lot of tension. So when you're having room up and down, you have to see where's the father and son's room, where the kitchen and the master bedroom is. Even these make a difference. That's why it's always better to have rooms on one floor.
But usually when they're like one-story bedrooms, so the master bedroom will come on the master bedroom, like the parents and the son.
Yeah. So that happens, which is also fine, because I mean, both probably are working, and both are in the southwest. If it is a Vastu compliant house, and then both can benefit from it. Sometimes you'll have a little tips, but then soft furnishings also help a lot to make these all okay. For example, try and avoid very harsh or heavy artwork in your house, like lonely women or people fighting. You get these Medusa statues with just the head, or these horses with broken heads and stuff. Try and avoid these things. Let your house also flourish, be prosperous. You should walk in and you should feel good about it. So these little soft energies also help a lot.
So that was exactly going to be the next question about art and paintings and what kind.
Sure.
But you covered that. And indoor plants have always been in trend. So any suggestions for lucky indoor plants, or where to place them?
Okay, I'm going to say this. I know a lot of you would not like me for saying this, but the Ikebana, this thing that we are following, and it usually goes into bonsais, right? It's Ikebana has a lot to do with a lot of bonsais and short stunted plants. Girls, please don't do that. I know it's great, and we all want to make them and create them, but bonsai, stunted plants, they are not good, because they stop your growth. They don't flourish. Any plant that you put into your house has to flourish. Look at Dubai. Why is Dubai only flourishing? Because look at the amount of palms that they have. So get something that flourishes, something that grows, something that gives you fruit, something that bears leaves. Anything that is stumped, like a cactus, like a bonsai, like a still plant, will not give you energy. And plant is life force energy. It gives out that vibe. So any kind of palms would do really, really well. You have different kind of plants with flourish, and that's what you need.
No, they were all very helpful, I'm sure, and we all are going to make those changes, because they're very doable also.
No, they're very doable. It's very doable. I mean, look around your house, see the art that you have, see the colors that you have. Okay, two things that I really want you girls to do is, one, which is the best vastu that you can do for yourself and your house, is declutter. Okay, remove all the mess, remove all the junk, remove from your house, remove from your storage, remove from your bedroom, remove from your mind. The minute you declutter, you're already in a good vastu space. You're already in a good energy space. So more than adding, remove. Yeah. And the second thing is, sage is something that works brilliantly in the house. So call for sage online. You get these sage sticks, for smudging. It's called sage smudging. I think Amazon will deliver it. Every evening, or at least once a week, please smudge your entire house with sage. And please follow the two things that Modi ji taught us: the ghantis in the evening, because it gives a very good sound and it gives a very good vibration to the house, and also lighting the candles and diyas, because it makes you feel energetic and very good. So these are the two things. And one more thing that I follow for cleanliness in my house is, anytime I'm having a party or as a daily ritual, my mates put in a fistful of pink salt, Himalayan pink salt, don't use normal namak, into the mopping water, and they clean the house every day. Yeah. And one more thing. Sorry, there's so much information to give that I'm just going to give it to you all out there. One more thing. If anyone comes to your house, let it be limited to the living room. Don't get people into your bedroom. That's your private space, girls. That's your private space. The other one's for your children. You don't need to do that. Let them be in the living room, please.
And how about, what's your take on citrus plants in the house? You know, a lot of people say you shouldn't have lemons in the house because you squeeze them, or, you know, something regarding that.
Zero logic. There's no logic at all. I mean, we all love lemons. Lemons make us look good. We can put it on our face. We can lose weight. Where is if it's not scientifically correct, I don't believe in it.
Good. Thank you.
And it's a fruit bearing thing. Yeah. Could we do without lemons? No, we can't.
Perfect.
So use it.
So, you know, we've had so much to learn from you today, but and our session would be actually incomplete if we wouldn't touch upon numerology and Nazar.
Absolutely.
So Shraddha is going to be decoding it all for us today. So Shraddha, please.
Okay. So numerology is how I started my journey. Yeah. 15, 16 years ago, my husband, whoever he met, he wanted to know their date of birth, and I was never a part of the conversation. So I said, okay, let me find out what is in this science. And I started to study it. Numerology is basically the science of numbers. All right. And it is a real science. Till date, anyone who has sat across me, if I have your date of birth, your entire life is in front of me. That's how strong the science is. There are 9 numbers from 1 to 9. Say, for example, somebody is a birth number 15. 5 plus 1 becomes a 6. If you're a 26, 2 plus 8 becomes a number 8. Girls, please write this down. I might talk very fast. Or I don't know, are you recording the session? Okay, so everyone will have it, right? Okay, great. So there are 9 numbers. So what you do is you get down to your single digit number, and there are 9 planets which are affecting and guiding these 9 numbers, right? Now, planet number 1 is the sun. Planet number 2 is the moon. Just because we can see the sun and the moon, we know it's affecting us. Because we can't see the other planets, we feel it's not affecting us at all. Do you know how much planet number 8 affects all of us, which is Saturn, Shani? Yes? Raise your hands, girls. We do know what Shani does to us, right? 95 times more the gravitational force of the sun. So anybody who tells me that numbers don't work, I mean, I'm just like, you know what? You believe in the sun because you can see it. What is the sun? The sun is a planet. It's planet number 1. It's number 1 out there for you. So there are 9 numbers and there are 9 planets, and each one of us is having an effect on us. Rahu just proved itself to all of you this year, planet number 4. So what I want to teach you girls out here is how to calculate your own personal numbers. Yeah, because getting into all of them will take us a long time, and it's a little more, the session gets a little more personal. You take your date of birth. Okay, I'm going to take my date of birth, 10/10/1978. So my 10 becomes 1 plus 0, 1. That becomes my birth number, who I am as a person. And my total, which is 10, 1 plus 0, plus 10, October, 1 plus 0, 1978, comes to a number 9. That becomes my destiny number. These 2 are your ruling numbers, your birth number and your destiny number. Let's take one person's example out here. Anyone? Manat, come on, go for it. Date of birth?
9th May 1978.
So 9 becomes your birth number. And just do a calculation of the entire thing. 9 plus 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 38, number 2, right?
38 would be 11.
Your total comes to what?
I'll have to, so 1978 has to be added like that.
No. So you do 9 May, so 9/5/1978.
Yeah, so 9 plus 5 becomes
So the total will come to a 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So that becomes her destiny number. When we have these 2 numbers with us, we get to decode our own personal energies. Now, number 1 is ruled by the sun, 2 is ruled by the moon, 3 by Jupiter, 4 by Uranus, also Rahu, 5 by Mercury, 6 is Venus, 7 is Ketu and Neptune, 8 is Saturn, Shani, and 9 is Mars. All the definitions and more of what the planets are about, you can find online. But to calculate your energies, this is how you do it. Then the third energy that is ruling us is the year energy. Like for example, 2020 comes to a number 4, 2021 comes to a number 5. And the most important energy is your age energy. Like Manat and me are 78, so we will be 42 years this year. So the entire year for us is ruled by Venus. So how we calculate numerology is my birth number, which is ruled by the sun, my destiny number, which is ruled by Mars, the year energy, which is ruled by Rahu, and my birth energy, which is my birth time, which is ruled by Venus. Is it confusing?
Yeah, Shraddha, if we could just take like 9th May is 9 plus 5, 14.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
14 plus 1978, if we add it like that, 1978 becomes 25, right?
Okay. So 14 plus 25?
Is 39.
Okay. 3 plus 9?
12.
Her destiny
12.
number should be.
Okay. So destiny number is coming to a 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, I must have just calculated really fast over here. So your destiny number comes to 3, right? Let's take another example so it's easy for everyone. I want you guys to do it. Smriti, come on. Mute, unmute.
Okay, 31st.
31st. So that comes to number 4. That's your date of birth. Yeah. That's your birth number. And the total?
July 1974.
So just do the calculation.
Now everybody knows how old I am.
Don't look at Smriti.
Yeah.
So who's going to help me with the calculation, Shraddha? So
34 plus 7
yeah,
plus
31,
1974.
31 plus 7, that's a
Has to
38.
be 6. It should be a 6.
There. So her birth number is ruled by Rahu and her destiny number is ruled by Venus.
I'm a bit confused about the age energy. So, so if it's, for example, let's take Spiti's example. She's 74 born, and as she rightly said, we know her age now. So it's the year that she is running right now. That's the total we'll take. As
No, I'll tell you a very easy way to calculate it. Because when people say, I have completed this, so I'm running it, they always make a mistake. When we are born, we are 0 age. We pass 12 months to become 1 year old, right? So you say my baby is 6 months old, 7 months old, 8 months old. When we are 1, between 1 and 2, we still have 12 more months to go. So when you're 1 and you're 6 months, we say 1 year, 6 months. So you need to calculate your age like this. If she's, okay, let's not say if she's 74, my sister will slap me. Let me take my example. 40, I'm 78. So 78 to 88, 88 to 98, 98 to 2008, 2008 to 2018, that's 40, 2019, 2020, that's 42. That's how I want you guys to calculate it. Don't say I've completed or I've started or I'm coming or I'm not, because it does not work like that. Yeah. Someone who's 75 born, 75. Divya, you asked this question. Let's come on. Tell us your year of birth.
I'm 79 born, thank God.
Okay, very smart. That's why you're saying it to everyone.
Okay. So yeah, I get it. So now if I calculated it till 2019, that's 40. 2020, I just turned 41. 41 is my age energy, which is
Age
5.
energy. Yes, which is 5. So next year is a good year. Next year, so I'll tell you now how we calculate. Now 2021 comes to number 5, which is next year. She's also getting to a number 5 year. So anything to do with work, business, the mind, money, get onto it. It's a great year for you. In fact, you would have gone through a certain things because there was a double Rahu age going on. So that's how you get to know in numerology. Numerology gives you everything.
Great.
But unfortunately, I can't sit and discuss every number out here, and every single this thing. But this is on the whole how you do it. Then once we know our numbers, once we know our birth and destiny number, and we know our age energy number, we can get into name calculations. We can get into signature analysis. We can get into gemstone analysis. But that then goes into a little more of a private session because that has to be very individualistically done.
For that, Shraddha, one may personally get in touch with you,
Absolutely.
right? Yeah.
Absolutely. You can
Perfect,
give
yeah.
them my number. I'm on
Sure.
Instagram. It's not a problem at all.
Anybody who wants to get in touch with Shraddha on that, please let me know. We'll share the number with your permission, Shraddha.
Absolutely. No, not an issue. Tell me. Any questions, Mansha?
So, this was actually very interesting. And
Yeah.
I hope everyone's been, really able to calculate their numbers accurately. So it'll be great, if you could share some links also with us where they can read more about their numbers once they get to know how to calculate them. So they can
There's a lot online, and also for you to know about what your planets are doing to you. Everything is online. But girls, don't get confused with life path numbers and this number and that number, because online they'll give you 50 things. Trust me, it's 15 years. These are the two numbers that you need: your birth number and your destiny number. That's it. You don't need anything else. And then for me to calculate and understand better, I take your age energy.
She's a guest.
Yeah.
So, like, I gave you my birth number as 9 and
Yes.
my destiny number as 3.
Yes.
So, how does it any relevance to the current year scenario? I mean, would you make some quick predictions? Like, how's
So your birth number is 9, which is ruled by Mars. Mars is the planet of heat and fire. So that's the person you would be. Even when Mansha introduced you, dynamic personality, there's energy. So there's always this energy within you, which you always need to come out with. That's how we see a person's aura and energy by their birth number. Your destiny number comes to 3, which is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of growth and abundance. Every time that you go to do something, you want to see growth, you want to see abundance in it, you want to see it getting bigger and better. Yeah. For you also, it's your 52nd year, for 42nd year, which is ruled by number 6, which is Venus. Venus is the planet of love, luxury, travel. So I think I'm seeing Manna travel this year. And yeah.
Radhika, that serves your purpose also. You share the birth date with me. So,
Everyone's happy now.
Yeah, I am very happy. Thank you.
Thank you.
You can go online and you can just, even if you get this much for yourself, for your children, it's good enough to know just what your energies are.
Done. Thank you.
Tell me.
So Shraddha, what's your favorite story when numerology has been really able to help someone through their dark times?
Okay, Mansha, I'm not going to talk about a dark story because why should we do that on such a positive platform? Secondly, that gets a little personal, but I'm going to talk about a very positive story. So I had this client who came to me with also then when we get to know your numbers, we give you lucky numbers, lucky dates, your good colors and everything comes into that, your name analysis, your signature. So I told him, for this next 2 months, number 5 is very lucky for you. Yeah. Because of this certain calculation, and use 5 wherever you go. That morning he came to me, that evening he went for a party and there was this bingo happening at the party. Yeah. And 2 people tied up for the prize. The prize was a BMW car. 2 people tied up for the prize. And they said, now both of you choose a number and whoever gets it will get the car. So they both won the first prize. And sure enough, he chose number 5 and he won. So he called me when he was on stage and said, I won this. I said, you won this. What is my benefit in it? Send the car over. So that's a fun thing that happened. But I have seen a lot happening because of numerology, a lot of positive things and a lot of good things. So yeah, numbers really connect.
I really wish we all could come to you before that and ask you the lucky number and win a car.
For the lottery, we'll do it.
I know. It sounds very good.
You'll get a lot of calls from Ludhiana during Diwali season now.
पत्तों के बारे में बताओ now कौन सा number
last session.
Yeah, Mansha, over to you.
Yeah.
No, I can come to Ludhiana for Diwali.
Yeah, you can come and play cards with all of us.
Tell me.
So in India, it's a very common practice to match horoscopes for marriage.
Yeah.
What would you say about matching partners' compatibility through numbers?
So I think it is important because what happens is, for example, if someone's a number 8, a destiny number 8 and maybe a birth number 4, and the person is also ruled by Rahu and Shani, there is a bit of a heaviness, So especially in a marriage, it's very important to find a balance. So I would recommend little bit of a match is important for sure. We don't want 2 moons or 2 Shanis or, 2-3 very strong energies in the same house. So I won't say it's the do it and be it of all, but yeah, there is a certain importance attached to it.
So should they contact somebody professional to do it, or is it just like a general?
I think it could be done in the horoscope itself. You don't need to do numerology separately for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So since we're talking about numbers, are there, numbers in your mobile numbers, car numbers, your house numbers, are they also covered in numerology?
Absolutely. I mean, people call me up for even bank account numbers, the new mobile numbers, everything. So the universal numbers, which we can all use, it is 1. So if you want something, if you want a new car, or if you're getting, your new phone or a house or whatever, we use 1. Then there's 5, and then there's 6. And there's 3. So there's 1, 3, 5, and 6, which is the Sun, Jupiter, Mercury, and Venus. These are the 4 numbers that we usually work around with for everything that we want. We try and avoid 2, 4, 8, and 7, and 9. Even though they're not bad. I mean, 8 is one of the strongest numbers that there is. Shani is something which is, if it comes down, it also comes up. And when it comes up, no one can touch it. So there's no good or bad. But as a common number to everyone, 1, 3, 5, and 6 work really well.
So there's no thing like, 13 is an unlucky number, or 7 is a lucky number, or it just depends.
Absolutely not. Yeah, absolutely not. I think it was just made by someone who said it was, but I've seen great things happen on 13.
Logic behind it.
Yeah, no logic behind it. Lucky and luckily is in your mind, so there is no good and bad. That's all a state of mind.
Good.
It'll take us back to the first lesson that you started with. It's all in the manifestation.
Absolutely.
So you think it's lucky, basically.
Absolutely. She's absolutely right. Manifest 13 to be lucky for you, and it'll start being so.
Okay. Shraddha, we learned so much from you today, and we had such a good time, and it was such a fantastic evening, very insightful, and honestly an evening full of positivity. And we had so many takeaways. And honestly, we can go on and on and on.
Really.
There's a long list of women who want to ask you questions. So over to you, Shweta.
Thank you, Mancha. Good evening, Shraddha.
Hi, Shweta. Hi.
Thank you for an insightful session. Thank you. We have just few members who want to ask their questions directly from you.
Absolutely.
So let me quickly call upon Radhika Gupta, our Senior Vice Chairperson, to ask a question. Over to you, Radhika.
Hi, Shraddha.
Hi, Radhika.
It's been an amazing event today, and my copy is full. I've made so many notes. So yes, I'm going to be using them. My question to you is today that 2020 has been a challenging year for the whole world.
Yes.
Why didn't any astrologer, numerologist see, the gravitas that this pandemic would shake the world like a soda water bottle? Okay, or is it difficult to kind of come to such harsh realities and, accept them?
See, I don't know what others saw or what others didn't see, but I do know that anyone who visited me in 2019, I did tell them that 2020 is going to be about Rahu, and Rahu is a heavy year, so we must take care. I was talking to them in terms of business, where you shouldn't put out I can't see everyone, where you shouldn't be investing too much, and try to constrain your needs, declutter what is there. So from my personal point of view, I did know Rahu would be heavy. But then again, as we say, what the universe had to get onto us in terms of a pandemic, no one really knew that this hit would come in.
Yeah, and Sensi, we talk about science.
Yeah.
So many people say this is like this is out of science, this virus, this life that we are leading, and
See, there are also so many conspiracy theories. We don't know why it is happening. We don't know whether it's really a virus. We don't know whether it's been planted. It's not been. Why the situation is happening to us. So there's also, in my view, and me seeing my cards, and my personal opinion is there is much more to this than we all really know.
Yeah.
For me, Corona has become something very small, and what is happening around it is something way bigger.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is not something that could be predicted. This is more about something that has probably been played upon.
I agree with that. This is what I actually wanted to hear.
Yeah. So it's not just something that has happened. It's not a natural disaster that has happened.
Yes.
It's a creation that has happened.
Yeah. So, but it has affected many innocent people in a lot of ways, Yeah.
Absolutely. Collateral is a part of anything that happens in life, And when you are doing something, you never know what the collateral positive or the collateral damage is. That's the reason, again, coming back to it, change your energy, change your physiology, see the silver lining. I think seeing the silver lining was one of the maximum things people used in 2020, and try not to react. What else can we do? We all were reacting in March, April, May during the lockdown. After that, we all just got used to it.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Tell me.
हाँ
Thank
जी,
you.
तो हम उल्टी गिनती कर रहे थे कि ये 2020 से छुटकारा मिले एंड वी गॉट यू. Really happy to catch hold of you.
Thank you
So
so much.
the next question is by your beautiful cousin Smriti Thapar. So Miss Smriti, can you put on your question to her?
Hi, Shraddha.
Hi, Mitu.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Your session was fabulous.
Thank you,
I'm not
darling.
saying it because you're my sister, but really, I'm so glad that all of Ludhiana has got to hear you.
I'm so glad.
I remember, Shraddha, you always told me one thing, something very small. Remember when everybody used to say, like you said, oh, ye nahi hoega, wo nahi hoega. And you said, you know, Mitu, even if you want that parking space and you're in middle of traffic, you say, I will get the best parking.
Yes, yes.
And it's really worked. Something this small girl's has worked. She is so positive in our family. Her positivity mantra, we all follow. And I love me girls. If we follow it, there's nothing stopping us.
Absolutely.
Not praising my sister, but I had to do well.
Thank you. Thank you.
My question is a little bit vaster because I really don't understand it, Shraddha.
Okay.
Two things. One, you said children's room, the parents' room. Which is the right place to have the study room for the children? Like in the bedroom, the children study, but should they study in the bedroom or should they have a separate room where they can study?
I mean, see, if you have space, then definitely they can study in the east corner of the house. If you don't have space, then in their own room, they can study towards the east.
Okay.
So it's a matter of having that space.
So
Also, sorry, tell me.
That's what I was wondering, that do we need to get them out of their rooms and create a different
space? All a matter of space. If you do have the space, then the east corner of your house is the best. You know, you can make that into it. Otherwise, I mean, use whatever you have.
Right.
Yeah.
And one more thing, the colors which are very important. You said colors in the east and whatever were gold, but right in the entrance of the house, should we have something like an orange or a bright?
So what happens is the energy of the house has to flow from, the energy of the house has to flow from light to heavy. Okay. Light starting with light colors, light fabric, light artwork, light furniture, going into mid, going into the heaviest. So usually our south, if our light will be our north, northeast and our entry, if it is Vastu compliant, then the southwest becomes your heaviest point. So the colors also start with pastels, whites, you know, going into the mid level, which is your kitchen, which will go into reds, yellows, going into the prosperity colors. Then your furniture will follow that stream. Your artwork will follow that stream. Everything follows like that.
So at the entrance, you want more pastel things, more pastel.
Right. Absolutely. Because the minute someone enters, they want to see something which is light and nice, you know. They want to see something which is calming to the eyes. You don't want to suddenly see something which is jarring out there.
You want something bright in the entrance, but yes, that's really good.
Yeah. Even if you're putting something bright, put it as an artifact. You don't want to make an entire wall which is red because it'll just unnecessarily attract too much energy to it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Vitu.
Thank you, Smriti. Thank you, Shraddha. Now, may I please request Mansi Gold to come forward and ask a question?
Hi, Shraddha.
Hi, Mansi. I don't see you.
What an insightful session it was. Like so many giveaways. Like really amazing. So my question to you is, it is the age of being in the digital world and my work is all online. So any tips or tricks or any suggestions to get more followers, more business, like any numerology or anything that works?
What do you do, Mansi?
I'm saying it is the age of being in the...
What do you do?
I'm a stylist and I'm an influencer.
Okay. So the first thing a stylist and an influencer needs to do is reinvent themselves every day, right?
Yeah.
So you need to be born daily and you need to start every day with something new. Numerologically and energy wise, for your profession, Venus works really well. Venus is Shukra and the day for Venus is Friday. So if you're doing anything new, try and do it on a Friday. Because Mansi's asked me this question, I'm going to specifically answer it for her. Do anything, you start anything on a Friday. Also, use colors like pink and blue, white and blue a lot on your page because that will really work well for you. Yeah.
Okay.
Numerology wise, I'll have to get a little personal because I'll have to get into your age, your date of birth and stuff like that. Okay. But the colors that would work for you are this, and just be extremely innovative.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Tell me. Any more questions, girls?
Yes. Thank you, Shraddha. Thank you, Mansi. Now, may I please request Ashu Khurana Ashu, over to you. Please ask your question.
Hi, Ashu.
Hi, Shraddha. How are you?
Good.
First of all, I would like to compliment that you're a very influential speaker.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So my question to you is that this pandemic, it has drastically changed our lives.
Absolutely.
With kids, with husbands, everybody at home. Earlier, we had time for ourselves. We had, space in relationships that we don't have it now. So my question to you is that what remedies and what should we do to stay calm and positive in this situation at home with our relationships?
With your relationships per se?
Yeah.
Okay. So is the lockdown still on in Ludhiana?
It is partially on, I must say that.
Okay. So again, the I hour is extremely important. You have to take out that 1-2 hours for yourself no matter what. That is the only thing that will give you peace of mind. Okay. So start doing that so you get your own time and space. Secondly, with the relationships, there are 2 things that you need to learn. One, less is more. Try and declutter whatever has stressed you all out. Because you're staying in a confided space, because everyone is together, you need to just take out what is important and what is required and let go of the less. Yeah. And second, quality over quantity, so see the quality time that you can spend with your family. See what you can do as a family. See what synergizes you people rather than trying to distribute it all throughout the day. And always cut the negative link. Take this time to remove and declutter the negative link. That means whatever is that one thing that has been causing this issue, work it out and get it out of your life. So maybe we take this pandemic as a blessing in order for us to work upon this for the rest of our lives.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And yes, we have another question pouring in, a very interesting one though. So Sumita Thapar, can you please come up with your question?
Hi, good evening, Shraddha.
Hi, Sumita. Hi.
A very insightful session, if I must say.
Thank you so much.
So my question is, how can we harmonize the energy of 2 sons in the house? I have 2 sons, so they're very small. They're still children, but they fight, and I don't want that to continue.
Okay.
So,
how old are they?
I have a son who's 12 and one is 7.
Okay, so Sumita, listen, that is a part of life. All right. And the fights right now is a part of growing. And I think if they didn't fight, there wouldn't be love also. So let's.
But it just creates a kind of stress in me also. So I feel like, maybe I'm not a good mother in the process.
So first, we are going to change your mindset, and we are going to change your vision towards it. What you're going to manifest in your 21-day, 7-day manifestation is, I am so glad that both my sons get along very well, and seeing them gives me peace, harmony, and love. So first you start to change. What did you just say? You said 2 things. How it drives me crazy. It gives me a little bit of this thing and I need to calm it down for me. You're looking at the problem. You need to start looking at the solution. The solution is that if the mother herself is calm, automatically you won't be seeing your children in that bad a state, because what they're doing is normal. With age, they're going to get even more better. And probably when they're 7 and 12, they're going to be, when they are, 15 and 18 and even bigger, they're going to be running out, both of them, without even telling you and being best of friends. So right now, change your mindset towards it, because there's nothing that you can do to change them. And for children, I like to keep them as natural as I can. I don't like to give them stones. I don't like to change, their energies. I don't like to shuffle around their rooms. Let them be the way they are. You start visioning it differently and you will see the change. I want you to do this in these 7 days and let me know how it was. Visualize and write down, I am so happy that both my sons get along and I am completely living in peace and harmony with them. See it, it'll happen for you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shraddha. That was really insightful and so many tips and tricks. Thank you so much for all the information.
Because what happens is we can't change anyone else. We have to change our thinking. And I always say, don't look at the problem, look at the solution. If the problem is I want to lose weight, I look at what I can do to lose weight and I stop complaining about being fat. So in any situation, look at the solution, never the problem.
Thank you so much, Shraddha. Thank you.
So
Tell
do
me.
we have more questions to go, or?
We have just one or two from the chat box, Shraddha, quickly. Somebody is asking that do wearing stones really work? Mukta
So absolutely they work. Stones are natural phenomenon that are found in the earth's surface. They are made up of air, spirit, energy, water, and fire. Our human body is also made up of the same energy. You know, today, the minute we are wearing a stone, it's not having an effect on our mind. It's having an effect on our body, and in turn, it's having an internal effect onto us. 110% they work, but then there are specific stones which work for specific reasons. You know, you always use a stone to enhance an energy, never to just never to add any kind of blockages or anything onto you. So you need to know what you're wearing according to your entire chart. But yes, they do work. I've seen it. You don't need it all throughout, but for a specific period of time, for that specific work, it is required.
All
So
right.
again, it's very scientific related, but yes, they do work.
Okay. Thank you. And regarding the stones only, how to know that whether they're genuine or not?
So, I mean, you need to sit across someone you trust. You know, you need to, sorry if there's someone who's a jeweler here, I'm really sorry to say this, but even my husband's a jeweler, but I don't usually buy astrological stones from a jeweler, because astrological stones should be bought from an astrological source. They have to have no color, no treatment, no dye. The minute you're buying it from a jeweler, they are already treated upon heat treatment, color treatment, So the right source would be an astrological source. And I mean, I myself have studied gemology, so I give my stones to my clients myself. So be sure of where you're buying, and you have to trust the person you're getting it from.
Thank you, Shraddha. Aina wants to know if the washroom is in the wrong direction. Like she has the washroom of the staff in the house in the southeast corner of their house. So
Okay.
can the copper wiring help like you suggested?
No, southeast corner, your copper wiring cannot help because it's already been done. You would need to, I mean, that would be a change, So if you could make the provision of making a change somewhere, because southeast, maybe if you could get a little more into the south, it would probably work. Copper wiring won't work in that area. For this, I would have to see a map, to be honest, because I don't know what else is around it or where else we can position it or if we can change it or not. But the thing that you can do right now is maybe make a double door on top and conceal and flush in that bathroom area into the wall, so it doesn't show visually from outside that it is there. So just like make like a false paneling with ply or something and try and conceal it off. So we've signified that this doesn't exist as a part of our house, and then we would need to do something more on it to enhance it, but I'll really have to see the map for that.
All right. Thank you. One last one, Rachna wants to know that in some situations, there are situations which arise and which drain us emotionally.
Yeah.
And what to do in those kind of situations?
So again, it gets very personal to what the situation and why it's draining you out emotionally. There are 2 exercises that I teach, and it's there on my Instagram page, which I really want you guys to follow. One is called the cord cutting, which I've not spoken about. If I get to talk, then we'll be sitting here for a very long time. So see it on my Instagram post. Cord cutting basically is a practice where you're sitting here and you visualize the person or the situation in front of you and physically take a knife and cut the cords out of that situation. This is something I practice every night, because I cut cords with everything from the universe, because I want to sleep in peace. And in the morning, you do gratitude. You be thankful for what you have. So when you're cord cutting, you're emotionally cutting the cords from that situation or that person. And in the morning, you're asking for thanks. Sorry, girls. In the morning, you do a bubbling technique. Bubbling is where you put yourself in this bubble so that even if you come across that situation or that person during the day, you're protected in this bubble. Now, this entire energy is only for people, situations, or circumstances that drain you out and that you need to be away from. Please see it on my Instagram page. It is there. It's a little down the video, maybe like, 10, 12 videos down, but it says cord cutting and bubbling technique. It's specially for this. Very easy to you do on your bed, 5 minutes in the night and 5 minutes in the morning. But please do it.
Thank you, Shraddha. So bubbling in the morning and cord cutting at night.
In the night. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Great. Thank
Very,
you.
very effective.
That was really insightful. Thank you, Shraddha. Thank you for a lovely evening. Now let me invite Sarleen again to express the vote of thanks to you.
Thank you, Shweta, so much. And indeed, it's a pleasure. As it's rightly said by some wise men, our path is illuminated with a roadmap of stars. Our path is illuminated with a roadmap of stars. I am here to guide you. I am here to guide you. Thank you so much, Shraddha Salaji, for being that guiding light.
Thank you.
You were stupendous. You were amazing. It was indeed a very, very insightful session. We are honored, humbled, privileged to have you amongst us, a person of your cadre. And as a matter of gratitude, as a gesture of gratitude rather, we would like to present you with a green certificate. The idea behind the green certificate is that we here at Flow believe in long-lasting memories, and we will be planting a tree in your name, that because you are our guest of honor for the day. And can I request now the IT team to please present the green certificate for Shraddha Salaji?
Wow. Love it, guys. Okay, my spelling is wrong. It's SHRADHA.
Thank you so much. And we'll definitely
We'll make the correction, Shraddha. Sorry for that.
No problem.
Thank you.
This is a lovely thing. Remember, no planting bonsais. Huh? We're going to plant something that flourishes and grows. No, thank you. I'm honored. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Shraddha Salaji, once again. I would like to now thank Garima Agarwal for opening the session so beautifully and taking one more episode ahead. Thank you, Garima. We would all like to thank Mansha Sahani, our moderator for the day, who so intuitively and so amazingly coordinated the whole question answer session and the whole session rather. Thank you so much, Mansha, for the wonderful work. And we here at Flow would definitely like to extend a token of gratitude to you as well in the form of the green certificate. Please accept it. The IT team can do the needful.
Thank you, Sarleen. I thoroughly enjoyed the session myself. It was really wonderful. Thank you, Shraddha, for that.
Thank you.
Last but not the least, we would like to thank our dynamic leader, Mannat Kothari, who always believes and trusts in us, and that's how she gets the best out of us. So, Mannat, a few words from you, please.
Thank you so much, Shraddha. That was such an insightful session. And I know you have given us more than 1.5 hours, and that is what we needed.
Wow.
Thank you so much. You've been so patient with us. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, girls. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, just please listen to what I've said, because I know it's going to help each and every one of you. And the only way ahead in life is to stay positive. And I hope all of you do that and look forward to 2021. And I'm just sending out loads of love, wishes, and positive energies to all of you out there.
Thank you so much, Shraddha ji. And we wish the same and much more for you from you, and definitely look forward to meet you in person in Ludhiana, all of us. We would also like to thank heartfelt thanks to our sponsor for the episode, Muffle. Girls, you all can shop Muffle at all e-retailer platforms. So please enjoy your shopping with Muffle as well. And lastly, we would like to thank our lovely audience who were overwhelming, who were very patient, and you made this program, a grand success. Thank you so much for joining in. I hope you enjoyed this webinar thoroughly. So please keep joining in and the Flow sessions again and again. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming in and joining. Jai Hind, stronger together. Stay safe.
See you, girls.
See you.
Thank you, Shraddha. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. It was a brilliant session. Thank you so much, Shraddha. Thank you, Mansha, Sarleen, everybody behind the show. Thank you so much.
It was lovely. Thank you.